Oh dear. Alright, so here you go. There's this Englishman here, and he fought for Russia because he knew what the situation was in the Donbass region of Ukraine. And this Ivor Bennett, did a really bad interview. He didn't highlight any of the real issues. And so I'm just going to explain to you what the issues are. Okay, so here we go. This Ben. He knew, he was familiar with the Donbass region, and it's ethnically Russian people. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in now what the interview left out. The West, the deep state of the USA, okay, if you didn't know, is at war with Europe, meaning white people. And they started the war with white people with the destruction of Yugoslavia, which was a successful communist country, which actually worked because it was white people. And they've been bombing Eastern Europe and at war with white people in Russia for decades now, if you haven't noticed. And they destroyed Serbia, okay, and they made the small hats made the Muslim incursion into Europe begin then, you see. And of course, the deep state in the USA are the small hats, and the worst one of them, which is been responsible for the trouble in Ukraine and Russia, is Victoria Nuland. Okay, and she's responsible for doing the color revolution and like a coup in Ukraine, where they they like to go on about democracy, but no, they subvert democracy, just like they've done recently in the USA, where the small hats had bought out the seat of the Kentucky senator. What's his name? Massey or something. The small hats just put their zogged out Zio bot in the seat there in Kentucky. So that's what they do. There is no democracy. It's just small hats running amok, diverting taxpayers' money away from the people who are now enslaved to Israel, and then funneling it back to buy the politicians. So they have all the senators in the UK are all Zionists now. It's the same thing in the UK. You've got it's all satanic, okay, and they use the cover of the so-called people of the Bible and say that's who they are, but they're not. They're Satanists. So anyway, going back to Ukraine, Victoria Nuland and Western interference in Ukraine. They got control over Ukraine, and they got small hat little Zelensky. I don't want to say elected because it's not, okay. They got him in power, okay. They had a coup of Ukraine, and the Ukrainian people have lost, and the small hats are in control of Ukraine, and they've been genociding white people ever since. That's what Zelensky is doing. That's what the war Russia and Ukraine is, you see, or whatever they want to call it, special military operation. But what it is the small hats got control of Ukraine, and the eastern parts of Ukraine have ethnic Russians. So the small hats in control of Ukraine, thanks to Victoria Nuland, started killing ethnic Russians in Ukraine, and Vladimir Putin came in to protect them because the small hats are attacking and genociding white people. Okay, and if you think I'm joking, well, what do you think? What was Victoria Nuland asked recently? She was asked, "What is the worth in causing trouble with Russia and the Ukraine war and with genocide of white people?" Okay, and she responded with the benefit. She was asked what are the benefits of this continuing war, and she replied with, this is I quote. She said, less Europeans. Okay, you can find that quote if you want. Okay, so there you go. Victoria Nuland, a genocidal small hat demon, who is quoted that the benefit of what the wars they are instigating in Eastern Europe and against Russia and against white people, the benefit is less Europeans. They are genociding white people. Okay, so this guy here, okay, all right, he went to help white people, okay, and white people are under attack and are under threat of genocide by the small hats who preside over them. If you haven't noticed, because if you haven't noticed that, you are retarded. Okay, so that's what's going on, and all the energy prices, the cost of living, and the fake pandemic. Okay, because there was no viruses, by the way. You're being poisoned all the time. They've been poisoning people since medieval times. It used to be wells, right? But now, since they own absolutely everything, the air is poisoned. Okay, from emissions and intentional poisoning of the air. The food is poisoned. The water is poisoned. Okay, so it's like an alien invasion of body snatching demons. Okay, these small hats, and they're at war with you. But apparently 99.99% of people are too retarded to even see it. Okay, so that's what's going on. And what is it that the funny thing is, now the UK has to buy Russian oil now. It comes in indirectly now, but they have to, because the USA is at war with Europe. You know, the USA deep state small hats, and they're destroying Europe. Okay, and the UK is taking Russian oil again now. Okay, because it's got no choice. Okay, and they're destroying everything. The price of everything. Life is becoming unaffordable. Okay, so all these kind of things, like even Brexit. Remember in the Epstein files, okay? Brexit made no sense because being in the EU, that's a free trade agreement. Okay, it's all just meant to make the price of living cheaper. Okay, and as you saw by the actual reality of Brexit didn't mean that the racists, okay, which just means nationalists who care about their own race, but they were all misguided. They thought that Brexit would mean foreigners would not come anymore, and there would be they would stop immigration. But what happened during Brexit? That's right, less Europeans came to the UK, and instead invasive species from the rest of the world were flooded in, again thanks to the small hats immigration policy, because guess white people are enslaved. White people are the real slaves because white people are not in control of their destiny. White people are owned by the small hats. You are living on their plantation as a slave. Slavery was never ended. Slavery is mental. Slavery can't be physical, because then like the average retarded sheeple would notice. Slavery was not just for blacks in America on plantations, and by the way, it was the small hats who brought them in anyway. Okay, this is like a myth. Like the Holocaust mythos. That's not how it works. What happened is slavery has been extended to everyone. That's all that happened. And then they said they ended slavery, but they didn't. Okay, and like I said, that's not the group. All different races have been enslaved throughout history, but in the contemporary times, the small hats, they only brainwash, especially in America, that only the blacks on the picking cotton were enslaved, and all this kind of nonsense. And of course, the worst offender is the Holocaust mythos, which means Israel and the small hats, they can genocide whoever they want. They even say this themselves, by the way. They're quoted as saying, the lesson of the Holocaust doesn't mean that never again doesn't mean that genocide shouldn't happen. It just means that they, Jews, should never be small hats. They should never be genocided again. They're quoted as saying this. So you can see the situation. White people have been taken over. You're ruled by, it's like lawlessly, it's like an alien invasion. You're ruled by an alien body snatching demonic the evil evil enemy from the Bible, basically. That's what if you actually read the Bible without being a retard, it does actually read like an alien invasion of body snatching demons, and that's what's in control. And they've just completely mind fucked you, and you're not able to think. They've poisoned you, they've poisoned your mind, and they're killing you and replacing you with invasive subhumans who they are betting on, because they will be able to control them, and then there won't be a Hitler ever again, and who'll be able to challenge their power. That's what it's all about, by the way. Okay? Alright, so there you go. That's told you the situation. So yeah, this man, obviously I don't think he obviously doesn't know the situation, but he saw an affinity with white people in the ethnic Russian parts of Ukraine, and he wanted to protect them from the small hats who are killing them. But before Russia even responded, the Ukraine, the small hat military, the Khazars, they were shelling the ethnic Russian, ethnically white regions of Ukraine. They were killing. I can't say their own people because it's not their own people. They were killing people who were Ukrainian citizens. That's it. The UK government installed with the deep state meddling of the USA and the evil Victoria Nuland heading it up, killing more white people. That's what the conflict is about. They are genociding white people in Europe. The USA is at war with Europe, and if you can't see this, you are too low IQ. You're a fucking retard, a blithering idiot. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look into your eyes. Wow, look at that. There's no glimmer of intelligence in your eyes. If you're one of these fucking morons who don't get it, you are a spastic, a retard. No intelligence, nothing. So that's it. I just told you what's going on, and I guess no one will listen to me because you're all fucked up. Yeah, was that Idiocracy quote? Well, your shit's all retarded. And what is it? You sound like a fag or something. That quote from Idiocracy. It's like that. It's okay. Yeah. So anyway, fuck you, sheeple. You're so stupid. You're literally being genocided, and you're going to just end up dispossessed and a slave in what used to be your own countries because you're just stupid.